And with that, I'm going to add in Nicole from Gorgias. We're going to go right into the next session. Nicole, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, it sounds good. Looks good. If you want to also share your screen, I can put that up here as well.
Yep.
How is it going? I'm really excited for your session today because you are, one of the only tools pioneering artificial intelligence in customer service, and therefore you have a unique insight into both kind of the topic that we're kind of, mostly here to discuss, but also just e-commerce in general, by having the power of understanding, like, what tickets should be tagged with, and then how to use those tags to better inform the next, ticket action, and also to inform customer development and product development because of what we're seeing from what we could call like a machine learning tagging system, all that stuff. But, that's just me nerding out. I'll let you explain it a little bit better to everyone, and I'll let you take it away from here.
Yeah, no, thank you for that intro. We love you, Derek. You really get our business and you get what Gorgias is about. So appreciate that intro and excited to geek out with you today. So hi, everyone. My name's Nicole. I am the partner manager at Gorgias actually, I just got promoted on Friday, so cheers to that. But I'm the senior partner manager now of the East Coast. So for what I do is I basically work with agencies, make sure that their customers know who Gorgias is, make sure, we can be implemented in different tech stacks, and I'm just really having the best time ever because I get to manage the entire East Coast. So hopefully there will be fun traveling coming up soon. I think we're slowly inching towards in-person events, so I'm excited for that. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about, automation, what that means. When we talk about it in the customer experience, a lot of brands have been hesitant to implement automation because they are worried about losing that personalization, but that's kind of what I'm here to kind of change the idea around, and really showing how you can pair automation to create the most perfect customer experience, especially this year. I've heard so many people say 2021 is the year of automation. So super excited to talk to you guys today. This is my email. You can email me afterwards, or Derek, I believe, has a link as well to get your second month free off Gorgias. So we have a specific discount for it. But again, if you guys have questions, feel free to email me. So you're probably wondering, what is Gorgias? First of all, so Gorgias, for those of you that don't know, is a customer service help desk. We aggregate all your support in one place. So think email, chat, Facebook, phone, Instagram. We just launched with Instagram DMs, so super excited about that. And then we did just launch a Yotpo integration, a Klaviyo integration, so you can respond to reviews, marketing campaigns. So there's a lot coming down in the pipe for Gorgias, but really the idea is, aggregating all your support in one place. So you as a brand, or you telling, your collection of brands how to really manage their support to create amazing experience. And we saw a huge surge this last year just because as a lot of brands were moving online, they needed something to manage all the support tickets that they were getting. So some stats here to really explain, why customer experience is so important. And I think every single one of us can probably attest to doing this every day. I have my own clients. You guys probably all have your own customers or clients. And about more than 30% expect to receive excellent customer service. 80% would like to buy when it's a more personalized experience, and 90% expect an immediate response for a very important question when they're posing one. So again, those three stats really show you that if you can deliver on support, you can gain customers. You can really be up to par with what the customer is looking for. And oftentimes, that doesn't mean you have to man your customer support 24/7, but I'm going to be teaching you tricks and tips on how you can use automation to do that, to really provide that excellent customer support, because we all do expect it. I know myself, when I go to a restaurant and I get bad customer support, I'm probably not going back to that restaurant, or I'll have a bad taste in my mouth. Write in the chat if you guys agree with me, or you guys have an experience you want to share, or maybe an amazing experience you want to share, because that's really what I look for when I'm shopping online. Same thing. Who's giving me the quick responses? I feel like I'm going to be able to return this quickly. That's kind of how you want to think about customer experience and what you look for yourself when you're actually trying to purchase something. So how do we help merchants, leverage automation? So first of all, we study what our customers are asking. So what Derek mentioned earlier, we can automatically tag tons of tickets that come through based on machine learning. We can actually identify, is it order status? Is it product availability? Maybe it's on a keyword related to strictly your brand. You can actually have statistics around what are your customers asking. So we actually analyzed 10,000 of our merchant tickets to understand the top 10 customer inquiries. So that's about 60% of ticket volume. So you can expect you're most likely getting repetitive inquiries. And how are you able to respond to those inquiries is going to be, either with some software, which I'll get into a little bit later, but also making sure once you segment it to know exactly how to respond to those customers. So you're not copying and pasting, you're not rewriting the same thing. If you're doing any of those things, you probably should look into a tool, or figure out ways that you can work smarter and not necessarily harder. That's kind of what I like to focus on. And I think with automation and the technology we have available today, it makes it really, allows us to introduce with ease some of these different technologies to make us work more efficiently. So the idea is, having all the order information in one place. So the other week I actually spent, I think 4.5 hours on the phone with an airline that I won't name, and I had to give my order ID multiple times. So here, the nice thing with Gorgias is actually the customer service agent has all their order information populated in front of them with the touch of an email, or with their phone number, depending on kind of how they're contacting the support. You're able to pull all that information. Now, what that does is it already gives the customer, a good experience because they're not having to say their order number back to you. And so what you're able to do is you're able to ensure speed and accuracy. You don't have to cut between tabs, no more copying and pasting. So really having all that information in front of you can really mitigate a lot of those frictions that you might be having with customers. And that, again, is the way that we pull that is through an automated system. We can instantly sync customer data with Shopify, Magento, or BigCommerce. I would say about 90% of our customers are Shopify, but we are growing in the other two as well. So what we can do here is actually use macros, and those are, pre-canned responses that you're probably either, pulling from some sort of Google Doc, let's say, for example, or if you are using a tool, that's awesome. So what you can see here is all these highlighted fields are actually pieces of content or pieces of customer data. So what you're pulling in is the customer name, their order number, their address, their tracking. It's really great for customers when they receive this because you're pretty much answering every question they could possibly ask with one touch. I also like here, this response actually pulls in smile data. So if you have loyalty points, what you can do is you can pull in loyalty points. So not only are you making this personalized, but you're actually upselling them again. And then, of course, you're signing it off with your name and the happiness department or however you want to personalize it. So that's what we mean by using macros to automate responses to repetitive inquiries, such as where is my order? That's the number one most asked for question. So that's what you can do here in this example directly. And again, you can totally modify this however you'd like. So that's one key of really being able to personalize, use automation to your advantage. Instead of actually having to click this response, you can tell the system itself to respond anytime someone asks about Wizmo or where's my order or order status. Just go ahead and elicit this response. Again, saving your team so much time. Also works great for small teams as well. If you are a team of one person, you probably want to look into tools like this so you're not constantly managing all those different customer service inquiries. So a tool like this can benefit your time because time is money. So on the back end, how does this look? So when a ticket is created, if the message intent, and so what's really unique about Gorgias is we've actually pre-built intents for you. We have a machine learning team and an automation team that has gone in and done thousands of tests around tickets to understand what the commonly used intents are. So intents are going to be, what is the intention of the customer? Is it shipping status? So here, this is how you can see it populated. This directly pulls in from Shopify fulfillment information, so you can elicit that response as well and automate that in a quick and efficient manner. Omnichannel approach. So I think this is, again, super important. We live in a society today where we're very fortunate that it's not just email and phone. You actually can have so many customer touch points. And oftentimes you might be responding to the same customer on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, for example. Having all that in one common place is going to allow you to automate, use machine learning to identify who that customer is, pull in all that synchronous information in one place so that you're not responding multiple times to the same inquiry. So omni-channel approach is super important. And I think today, we're going to quickly talk about chat. That's kind of, something we released recently is today people want conversational conversational experience, so instantaneous responses. And that's kind of what chat is available for. SMS, those are two channels we've seen grown so much. Is a lot of customers nowadays, they don't always call. They want to engage with someone. They want to find the answers quickly. So what we launched is a self-service chat. So what the self-service chat can do is it can actually mitigate those order status questions. They can automatically put in their email, and it'll populate all that information for them. So their Shopify information, they can track, they can report an issue. They can also start a conversation right here if they want to speak directly with an agent. That's going to mitigate around 30% of your tickets if you are having the same type of questions, which most likely most of the brands are based on kind of the studies we've done. Another thing I like to talk about is chat campaigns. So again, using automation. If someone's on your site and you know that they're buying because you have cruelty-free faux leather shoes, again, pop that up. That's an objection busting statement. That's a great way to engage with your customer. The best way to drive them down that conversion funnel with minimal lift is using automation to automatically pop out a chat. You can also highlight a review. I look through thousands of reviews before I buy a skincare product, for example. That's a great way that you can actually hook the customer. You can give them discounts. Hey, here's 20% off if you order within the next hour. Or you can become friends with them and say, I'm your fashion consultant. How can I guide you through this process? And again, you can create different recommendations. If you see that they're on a specific shoes page, you can be like, oh, great, many purchasers buy this for a wedding. Maybe they're shopping for a wedding and that's your demographic. There's great ways you can actually converse with the customer with a quick automated response to hook the customer. And we actually had a customer that had tons of returns based on shoe size. And that's why I love this example, because it says usually women go half a size up. Sizing, I think, is half the battle when you're shopping online. And they actually drastically reduced their returns. So again, this is a great way to use your tool to actually minimize the bottleneck, to drive efficiencies, to make sure that you're not missing out on those important questions. Again, you don't want to pay for returns and have a return be a churned customer. This is a great way you can make sure that they're making the perfect purchase, the right size for the right event. And so chat is a flow that I would definitely recommend, or a channel that you should incorporate if you're looking for automation and quick ways to really gain the attention from the customer. And we also show, when you do engage with a customer in a certain amount of time, they're more likely to purchase. So again, automation is super key to, impacting your revenues, impacting that personalization. Again, if you're deciding between a brand that has great customer experience versus one that doesn't, most likely all of us will choose the one that has great customer experience. Facebook Messenger is a channel we've seen grown tremendously this last year. What I love about this is, rather than just, all of us brands spend so much money on these ad spends on Facebook and Instagram. How do you get the most for those ROAS? The best way to do that is really, rather than just swiping them up onto your website, you can swipe them into a conversational funnel. So here you see this response, this automated response. This is, hi, Travis, you want the discount code? Here you can go to actually claim that discount. So not only are they swiping them into the website without ever having understanding of where they're clicking, are they actually purchasing? Now you've actually opened up that conversational flow with a quick response just based on a swipe from the Facebook Messenger ad. So this is a great way to actually gain the attention of your customers, make sure that you're being proactive with them, answering the questions that they need. So like shipment status, returns, and size. Maybe they're already a customer. You'll now have all that information in your view. Engage with customers before they hit your website. This is a super, super key piece of advice I'd give. Is a lot of times we spend so much on, again, those ads trying to acquire new customers, when really the most important customers are the ones that are already loyal to you. So oftentimes we look for them, but they're already commenting on your social media. What you can really do, and what's great here, is you can actually respond to these comments. So Michelle tags, or comments, this backpack looks awesome. Frank responds and says, we love it too. Feel free to use this 15% discount code for your next order, SM15. So this is a great way to actually engage all those social leads and those customers. So if you want to give them 15% off, here you're giving Michelle 15% off. You're now acquiring a new customer. Maybe she was already a customer and now you're driving more loyalty. Let's say Michelle tags me, Derek, and another person. Now not only are you tagging one of us, but you're tagging all three of us. And that's a great way to engage with your current customers and acquire new customers. DMs coming soon. We actually did just roll them out to our first 5 customers, and we're doing the next wave of 100. So this is already in progress. So it should be like DMs are actually here. DMs are, a huge, it was our number 1 most requested feature this last year. And really, we were just waiting on Facebook to open the API for us, to us. And now we've had that in motion. So again, I'm sure a lot of you brands are getting tons of DMs. I DM all the time as a customer myself. And that it goes back to kind of, that omni-channel experience. Maybe there's a customer on your side that's commenting. But the nice thing on your end is you can actually see that they're a Shopify customer or Magento customer or whatever, depending on what e-commerce software you're using, you can actually see, who that customer is and merge tickets, make sure that you're not responding to them on email and on Instagram as well. And also responding to these tickets is the equivalent of a 5% increase in ad spend. So again, you can, this will definitely impact your revenue. You can also set up automations to respond automatically to these social leads. That's why machine learning and automation are so key, because what you can tie in with both is you can actually understand here, for example, if there's a negative comment, there's a social question or a social lead, you can actually prioritize these comments. So here on the back end, what you're doing is you're automatically tagging these as social leads. So these positive comments with Michelle. Now you can automatically respond to all those positive comments, automatically respond to those negative comments. Maybe you want to hide those negative comments. Maybe you want to respond with an email instead of responding directly on Facebook. If they are a customer, you can totally do that. And then tagging, of course, these increase to understand what is going on in your support system. Maybe you're creating a product that you actually don't need to create because you're getting all this amazing feedback about what they want next. You can write, hey, what product do you guys think we should launch next? There's so much information in there. And now let's say you could tag it with product feedback. And now you can do an analysis of all the product feedback that you're tagging and really get in-depth data about why your customers love you, why it's important for them to engage with you, and why and how you can actually use that information to create additional revenue, additional SKUs, and figure out how I can really effectively use this feedback. So using tags to identify trends. This is kind of what we've been talking about. I think this is super, super important. Oftentimes, we don't always have an understanding of what's going on in our support system. So having the analytics around it, as we just discussed, is going to be just as important, so that you can identify what the bottlenecks are. So if you're having a lot of damaged and defective items and that has increased over the last week or last month, maybe you want to check in with your warehouse, figure out what's going on, be proactive, send a message and be like, hey, we're having warehouse issues. We're so sorry. We're putting things on pause. Always being proactive. I think someone told me the other week that their warehouse was on fire. I didn't even know that was possible. But what they did is on their chat, they launched and said, hey, if you're here to ask about your order status, we're so sorry, but our warehouse is actually on fire right now. So things are going to be delayed. So again, that's a great way for you to mitigate those questions. Rather than having thousands of tickets, having to respond to individual tickets. Again, auto tagging based on intent. And I forgot to mention here that we actually can identify what is the sentiment. So sentiment is going to be, what is the tone of the customer? Is it positive? Is it negative? Are they angry? Are they happy? That's kind of what we're looking for when it comes to these different types of segmenting. And that really helps you scale as a business, because when you can segment based on sentiment or the type of inquiries you're getting, you can really drive engagement for your and get the most for your ROAS. Auto assigning to the right team. So oftentimes, I get the question of, we have a social team that manages support or social, and the support team that manages support inquiries. They really do go hand in hand. I think this is a great way to, get your teams to collaborate, be more cross-functional. I think the support team, the sales team, and the orders team, all 3 of those are actually ways that you can collaborate, because they are asking similar questions. And so, training your team to upsell has to be relevant across all of them, right? Because a lot of the times, a lot of sales are actually by questions. What size does this come in? What color does this come in? Those are all qualified social leads. So again, assigning to the right team is important, but again, having that basic training for all 3 of them. So here you can see, when a ticket is created, when it's updated, there's a new message, or if it's the channel Facebook or Instagram, then I go ahead and assign to the right team, so social. And right now we integrate with Facebook Messenger, Facebook comments, Instagram comments, Instagram ad and organic, and Facebook ad and organic, and then of course now Instagram DMs. So great way to kind of actually have both teams work together. You can also escalate to different teams as well. I think that's super important to make sure how you're auto assigning to the right team. Analytics. So this is kind of going back to why analytics is so important. You can actually unlock sales, as I kind of mentioned previously in this entire presentation. So what we actually found is for one of our brands over the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, we found that out of 1,000 pre-sale tickets, about a third converted with a response rate of 10 minutes. So showing you that response time, whether you're using automation to automatically respond to these tickets, actually does impact your revenue, as I've kind of been hinting at. And pre-sale tickets are customers that have either not purchased within 30 days or they're entirely new customers. So you can actually see that this has driven an additional $13,000 of support, which is something that oftentimes we're looking for when it comes to marketing, when really you actually can have it in your support system, and that's or in your support with your support team. So here you can actually measure agents against each other. You see Frank, Scott, and Anthony, that you can see how much they've converted, what the conversion rate is, how much sales they're actually driving, versus from pre-sales to converted over a specific period of time. You can A/B test different campaigns, and you can do that with the automation as well. As you can send different responses. If it's Frank's queue, you can send a specific response. You can A/B test this specific promo codes. So here you can actually track all the sales generated based on that one interaction, which is again super important in understanding what's going on, what's working well, as you can so you can drive growth as a business. And that's super key. That's something I always love to talk about. And the other piece here is turning every negative experience into a good one. I think oftentimes, when you're having a negative experience, it would be so great if someone just called you and said, "Hey, we saw you wrote in we saw you wrote in about this negative experience. How can we make it up? Here's 20% off your next purchase." It totally can change the entire experience and can actually drive that customer to learning more. We also have an example that we use with a customer who typically, they were having a lot of breakage with their jewelry. So what they did is they said, "Hey, we're so sorry this is broken. What we can do here is it costs $3 to replace, but we'll also give you a discounted percentage on if you want to upgrade to the next ring size." Now what that does is it drives additional revenue, it creates brand loyalty, and what you're doing without even knowing it is you're creating this awesome brand experience so that a lot of these customers want to come back and purchase from you. So again, your support team is super important to your business. They are your sales team. I always like to say that, as you can kind of see here, they can convert, they can drive sales. And again, some of the most important apps that are out there are integrated with Gorgias. Having that synchronicity across all your e-commerce apps is super important. So Yotpo, Recharge, pulling all that information in one place is going to be how you can actually automate, how you can pull in more information about that customer, how you can easily process returns, how you can upsell, how you can generate that amazing experience. And yeah, we are 40 apps and counting. I think we're actually at 50 now. So we just keep growing and growing. And I don't know if we mentioned this beforehand, but last year when I joined, we were 50 employees. Now we're at 140. We were at 2,000 customers. Now we're at 6,000. So if that doesn't give you an idea of how much we've grown and how important customer experience is, get on it. I love talking about customer experience. I have a ton of friends in the community that I love to share these best practices with and recommend different apps because there's so much out there. And so to kind of wrap up, we did grow to about 6,000 customers, and then we'll open up to Q&A. I don't know if there are any questions, but we'll leave it towards the end. The idea is to have all your customer service in one place. So email, chat, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, fully integrated with Shopify, Magento, and BigCommerce. You can refund, cancel, and duplicate and create orders with Shopify. And then again, AI responses to common questions. These are some of the bigger customers that we work with: Steve Madden, Timbuktu, Anine Bang, Princess Polly. The way that we price is per volume of tickets, as opposed to most other companies. So there really is no one size fits all. It's really just as you kind of grow as the business, that's kind of how we give you everything out of the box. So That's my email. We do have an offer, I believe, for, if you guys do want to trial with us, feel free to email me. But again, you get your second month free. And Derek, I don't know if you have that link that you're going to share out as well. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I gave the usual link to the homepage. I don't know if there's another ebook or special landing page, but also they can follow up with you directly, Nicole@gorgias.com if they have additional questions. Yeah, I love that Instagram DMs is finally a thing. I think I've said it before to you. When I was in house at a beauty box subscription, they had 3 people full time managing iPads so that they can respond to DMs, because that's how many, like that was how bad the DM situation was, just like managing customer service from tablets, because it was one of those channels that that Facebook wouldn't allow us to have automation for. And so it's great that they're opening that up. And I'm sure once you open the floodgates on that, it's going to create even more growth. I mean, 6,000 customers, the company's grown so much. I mean, 140 like employees, like that's like more like than an employee a day coming into the company. That would be just exhausting, but it speaks to the power of what Gorgias has built, from the AI automation and tagging components to the live chat functionality. And I did link some videos here for some other videos that go deeper into live chat. You also hinted at Facebook Messenger and a little bit of SMS. We'll have Octane on later to go even deeper into the sequences and strategies you can use with those tools. And of course, you've got the the direct integration with them, so that the follow-up, the customer service follow-up can be made by a human, but the starting point and the automation can really engage and trigger the conversations and get people responding to the brand, which is what I love. So
yeah, we love the Octane team. So there's a lot out there, especially when it comes to automation. I love talking about it. I'm learning every single day about it. I think our team is really heads down on how we can make it better. And I do think, we're just scratching the surface. I think there's so much out there that we haven't even tapped into yet that's coming. So there is more. And for those of you that are hesitant to think about automation because you're worried about, the personalization and you don't want to sound like a robot, like, fear no more. Like that's here right now. Is you don't have to compromise on personalization. That is what we're actively, against as well. We really want it to come off as in your voice, in your tone. And like I said, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going. I mean, and that's why I know Gorgias optimizes or charges based on tickets as opposed to seats, which a lot of other companies charge by the seat. If you're charging by the seat, you want companies to have more support agents. If you charge by the ticket, you don't care about how many agents, because I think what Gorgias wants to do is take the number of agents down to 0. Probably maybe there'll be one person there, but if you extrapolate where we're heading with this, you're cutting down the agent's time so much that in 10 years time, we might not need an agent to man customer service. It's more like controlling the levers behind the scenes than actually engaging with customers, because the AI and the automation and the responses can all be generated and highly accurate, and honestly, it can be done faster than a human can do it. So it should be, and I believe it will be, an even better experience for the customers to be interacting with your robot front end, and they will appreciate you for having a great robot. And so thank you to you, Nicole, and to the team at Gorgias for helping us build that robot and future that we're inescapably heading towards.
Yeah, no, you hit on a really good point that I forgot to mention. Is the whole idea is, right, you're spending, there's a lot of operating costs and a lot of overhead when you're hiring person after person, because you're just getting so many tickets, and there's smarter ways to actually, right, like you mentioned, reduce that cost. And the idea is, it's meant to be complementary. Obviously, like those really urgent inquiries we can't yet automate. But the idea is, rather than hiring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that just ends up costing you so much, is pairing it with automation and responding to those inquiries. Self-service chat has, again, it's a new feature that we've just begun with, and there's so many ways. Like, a lot of customers are proactive now. They just want to find the answers themselves. Sometimes, or even like, FAQ used to be so big, finding all those answers. But the idea is using macros to actually respond to the customer. If the customer says, "Where's my order?" all you have to do is send that in. Or, "What's the return policy?" all you have to do is use that automation to quickly elicit that response. That shouldn't be a big lift on your team's end. and allows them to have direct access to those questions without you having to really hire like tons and tons of people to respond to all those basic inquiries.
Yeah, I mean, they can basically be fully automated. And then the cool part is you put the human for the proactive customer service on top of that. So it's like, okay, that's the return policy. Don't just end the conversation, but start, oh, I see that you're browsing this, or like, have you looked at this product? Have you seen our best sellers or our biggest discounts? Like, so there's ways to kind of engage on top of very quick automated responses and take it to the next level.
Yes. And I don't know if we had other questions. I, for some reason, thought this ended at 10:15. So I was trying to hurry at the end, and I realized like it actually, I don't know if that was the right time.
We're supposed to end at 10:10. So we're 3 minutes over, which means I will have to say goodbye to you, Nicole, as we move into our next session.
Perfect. Thanks, Derek, for having me.